What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another very important AMC update to bring all of you this evening. So what we're going to be covering in this update is, one, we're going to be covering a little bit of the technicals that we saw on AMC today, the Ortex data on both AMC and GME. We've also seen this article that Melvin Capital in the first quarter of 2022 is down over 20%. They are still taking very, very significant losses. Now, there is a lot of room for debate on whether or not Melvin Capital has covered their short position on GME. I personally think they kind of offloaded it somewhere. They still have exposure to it somewhat, but again, it's kind of hard to prove. But this is a really interesting sign of things to come. Now, the other thing that we're going to be talking about in this update is this situation going around about this sort of phenomenon that we've been seeing with Max Payne in this new narrative coming up about kind of buying puts on AMC and trying to day trade some puts on AMC as well. We're going to go over exactly what the effect of buying puts on AMC is and how market makers are viewing these situations on AMC and GME right now. And then you guys can be the judge of what you want to do with your money, because at the end of the day, it's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. So before we get into all of that information, if you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So AMC closed the day today at $20.39. Now, that's not necessarily what we really wanted to see today. We were down 3.89%, but when we come and take a look at AMC on the 4-hour chart, again, we're using 1348 here. You've seen the success that people have been having with this trading strategy. If you guys do want access to free alerts on over 200 stocks on the 4-hour time frame, we're giving you some 5-minute alerts as well. Check out that link down below to the Discord. If you want to take it more seriously and get access to all of the private live streams, consider joining premium. So when we're looking at AMC right here on the 4-hour time frame, remember, we saw that 1348 cross up, closing candles above the 200 EMA. We started to really see a significant push to the upside. Then we started to get knocked back down. We are currently holding this 200 EMA level as support. But again, it is possible that we are going to break this. When we take a look at the daily chart on AMC, we're kind of hovering right around that 48 EMA. I usually have this 25 MA over here as well. That kind of usually serves as a buffer between the 13 and the 48, but it kind of can get out of whack as well. We're going to need to see some significant buying pressure to the upside in order to really see AMC come back to life here. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Ortex data before we get into Melvin. So when we come over to AMC right here, let's just give this a quick refresh just so we have the most accurate and up-to-date data according to what Ortex is giving us. We're still showing 100% utilization, but again, shares on loan is continuing to go up, so it's impossible to have 100% utilization if shares on loan is continuing to go up. As we can see here, we are almost at 139.2 million shares on loan. That's not all-time high yet. We saw all-time high shares on loan at like around 155 million, but when we start to see the shares on loan continue to go up like this, it's very, very probable that we're going to see the cost to borrow start to go up as well. We have 2.55% average cost to borrow today, 3.3% max, 20.9% estimated short interest. Now, when we come over here to GameStop, we've got 21.09% estimated short interest, 8.97, almost 9% average cost to borrow, and 12.23% max cost to borrow. So again, shorts haven't covered. We're still seeing the fundamentals continuously get better with these companies, and we are still ready to go. The apes are not leaving. So then we come over to this article right here. Gabe Plotkin's Melvin Capital ends the first quarter with a 20.6% loss. The other thing that I kind of want to mention here is that Melvin Capital has kind of been switching to a long-only fund. They're not really shorting anything anymore, and they still are terrible with their investment strategy. This kind of goes along with what I've been saying a lot. With a lot of these big firms, think they're really smart. They have a lot of talent there. They're creating these algorithms, but they're not beating the market. Melvin Capital is still down 20.6% in the first quarter of 2022. That is some very, very significant losses. So now that we've kind of covered all of this, I want to kind of go over this buying put situation on AMC and kind of what's been going on with this. A lot of what this has to do with is Max Payne. Now, everybody kind of knows that the price of AMC likes to finish basically due to a lot of market maker manipulation around Max Payne every single week. So we can see the Max Payne right here on AMC for this week is about $22 a share. Now, what people are suggesting, Trey and Astro specifically mentioned this in their videos, and they are correct when they say this, that if more puts start to come onto this options chain, the max pain starts to go up. Because you got to think of this like two sides pushing a stone. You see one side on the right, the call side, when more calls become stronger on the option chain, it pushes max pain down. When more puts come on the option chain, it pushes max pain up. But I kind of want you guys to think about this. Right now, max pain's at 22. If it was at 28 and we ended up finishing at 28, is that really going to make a whole lot of a difference in terms of where we are at in terms of the current squeeze potential for the stock? In my opinion, no. And there's a really, really significant danger in having a lot of puts start to be bought on AMC. But again, we're going to go over exactly what the effect of this is. But at the end of the day, you guys can do whatever you want with your money. So the other thing is kind of being mentioned a lot is short exempt shares. The question that I want you guys to ask yourself is if Citadel, a big market maker, is creating a lot of short exempt shares, where do you think the price of the stock needs to be for them, or what do they want the price of the stock to be after they flood the market with those synthetic shares? Well, the answer to that is obviously lower. So what happens here is that if there are no more shares available for these market makers to hedge the puts that they are selling, because something that I want to bring up to you guys right now is that puts have a negative delta when you are buying them. When you are selling them, put contracts have a positive delta. So when you think about gamma squeezes, what happens when market makers sell a bunch of calls is that they have to go out in the open market and buy shares, meaning that a lot of buying pressure then comes into the stock. If a lot of puts are being bought, they're being sold by the market makers. If a lot of puts start coming in, they have to hedge them. How do they do this? Well, you can see right here that puts have a negative delta. What delta is it's essentially what is going to tell you how much the option price is going to move based on a $1 move in the underlying stock. When you sell a put, the delta flips to being positive. So you need a negative delta position. And how do market makers do this? They short. So when you think about market makers right now, if they can't get shares on loan to cover those, essentially these hedges that they need for all these options that they are selling, they're going to pump the market with more short exempts. Now, here is the other danger that comes in with this buying puts strategy. A lot of people have kind of been saying, well, I'm going to buy some puts. Maybe if the stock is going to go down, maybe as a hedge to my AMC position, which we're going to talk about in a little bit as well. But I'm just going to come back in and use that money to buy stock. Here's why that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Take this $20 strike right here for AMC for this week. The $20 strike cost $71. The delta is 0.4. So let's just say the current trading price of AMC is around $20. It's $20.37 right now, but just for simplicity, we're going to say it's $20. So 100 shares is going to cost you around $2,000. The delta is going to tell you how many shares the market makers need to short in order to be what's called delta neutral. So in this case, it's about 40% of those 100 shares, meaning that if you essentially come out in short 40% of those shares, you're shorting 40 shares of AMC. Let's do that math really quickly. You're going to short 40 times 20. Well, you get to about $800 worth of shorts coming into the stock, but you only put $71 into that put contract. So you're taking your $71, and what ends up happening is that around $800 comes in as short volume to short the stock down. In this case specifically, if you were going to go out and say, hey, I'm just going to buy puts, then I'm going to use that money to buy more shares, everything's going to be fine, the buying pressure is going to come back into the stock. Well, your options contract would have to go up over 1,000% to get up to that $800 number to counteract this. But in order for your put contract to go up that much, you need the stock to come down very, very significantly. Delta, these delta levels right here are not fixed. The delta levels will go up. This is where gamma squeezes happen. You see the delta start to go up. They have to hedge more, so the market maker ends up shorting more. So it's relatively impossible for you to buy your put contracts, make your money, and then throw it back into the stock and put in more buying pressure than the shorts or the market makers are coming in and shorting the stock with in order to hedge their position. So puts are going to end up causing short pressure on the stock. The message has always been in the money calls are the key to big price movements. We saw this last January or 2 Januaries ago, January 2021 with AMC and GME. We saw it in June with AMC, and in none of these situations were the result of the big price movements to the upside, the result of people buying puts. Now, with that being said on how buying puts is dangerous, this isn't even talking about trying to time the market with inexperienced traders coming in and essentially trying to buy puts on a stock that could shoot at any second. There's a lot of volatility in this, and I just think it's a little bit dangerous to be trying to day trade AMC, but that's just my opinion here. The other thing is that there actually is a time where buying some puts on AMC makes a lot of sense. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, that sounds absolutely crazy. I would never buy puts on AMC, but there is a time where it does make sense, and I want to make sure that's clear to everybody. When we start to see crazy price movements to the upside, most likely, if we're going to get to that MOAS scenario where we're seeing absolutely crazy volatility in these stocks, you're going to see massive swings. So puts, in general, what they do is they give you the right to sell at a fixed price. So you know what the price is that you're able to sell. In order to ensure, potentially, your position on AMC when it starts to skyrocket, or GME or any other stock that you hold, if it starts to get to a certain price, you can buy puts that are lower than what the current trading price of the stock is, and you've locked in your trading floor. For me personally, that is the only time that I would really consider buying puts on AMC. So that's mainly going to wrap up this video for you guys. Hopefully all of this made sense to you. I really hope a lot of these points are getting across because I want everybody to be on the same page. I don't want people to be confused about this or think there's a lot of FUD getting spread around. I just want people to fully understand, one, my opinion on this. And again, it is my opinion with the facts that I see here. And just make sure that everybody kind of understands what's going on. So that is going to wrap up this update on AMC. If you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So I hope you guys are having a great evening, and I'll see you guys in the next video.